Hello, Sunday.
Hello, guys. As you can see, I'm on my way. I'm coming from church. I'm just going on, but I'm on. I'm on.
Okay.
I'm on. Yeah.
So I'll start this meeting because today is the day for International Widows Day.
Okay.
As commemorated by the United Nations. Unfortunately, we are supposed to have a speaker to speak to the widows, but no, there are no organizations that are targeted as widows in my environment. There are not many, not that there are none. So as a widow myself, I decided to stand up. If we're recognizing widows having human rights violations and things like that. So I'm speaking on behalf of widows today, whether rich widows, poor widows, homeless widows, whatever form of situation you find yourself based on the loss of your husband. We're trying to put together a list. So today is going to be like a meet and greet, get to know a widow and learn from their experience, not for anything, but just raising awareness what widows go through. I don't want to waste our time today. So Sunday the Susan Maki, I'll give you 1 minute if you are able to speak on trying to get widows in your environment. So Sunday, the Susan Maki is speaking from Nigeria. Dr. Emmanuel Ezekiel, so we lost connection with Sunday. Dr. Emmanuel Ezekiel, if you're able to speak, please can you speak for widows in Malawi, so we know the suffering that widows in Malawi go through. Before you came on, I was talking to Sunday De Souza Maki from Nigeria, but we lost connection. Maybe he's coming back soon. He's supposed to speak on widows in Southwest Nigeria, Yoruba widows. Dr. Emmanuel Ezekiel, speak on behalf of widows in Malawi. Thank you. Please unmute yourself.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Yeah, Dr. Emmanuel, speak on behalf of widows in Malawi. 1 minute, please.
Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Good evening, good morning, good afternoon. I am Dr. Emmanuel Okunoren-Oyekenu from Malawi. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity. In belief, Malawi, as one of the African countries, it is also one of the poorest countries in the world. It is rated at number 4 as the poorest countries. So in Malawi, due to HIV and AIDS that hit Malawi recently, in the recent years, most of the women, they are widows. So we have got many widows in Malawi, but they are suffering. They are facing a lot of challenges. Most of the challenges that are facing is poverty. And the poverty has stricken them in a way that they are not even able to send their children to school. Had it been that they are able to send their children to school, we would have said that in the near future, maybe the trend of their life will change. But it's very unfortunate that the children that are supposed to maybe hold their hand in the future, they are not able to send them to school. And there is food insecurity, because recently we have been hit by Cyclone Freddy, Cyclone Anna. So all the crops were washed away. So most of these families do not have enough food to feed their families. So this is another challenge. Now, we are still trying our best maybe to have, to make sure that they could have some small scale businesses so that they can take care of their children and they can even feed the children they have. But most of them, they are going on empty stomach. Most of the widows in Malawi, they are going on empty stomach because they do not have anything to feed their families or even to feed themselves. So Malawi is undergoing a very bad situation. So this is all that I can say, but the situation is really very bad. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Dr. Emmanuel. So I will mute you after you've spoken. Please unmute yourself, Sunday De Souza Maki, and after that, Dr. Achi Ndifon.
So, actually, I will ask for just 10 minutes. I'm inside Keke Marua now. By 10 minutes, I will come down so that I can talk very well because there's noises.
You have
inside
only
here
2
now.
minutes. You have only 2 minutes.
Okay, okay. The situation here in Nigeria is that actually what happened here in Nigeria, because we have cholera that is worrying us here in Lagos, and now we have 21 cases that's already died, and like 700 plus that are in hospital right now, and most of widows here, I have talked to most of them, and I even do meeting with some, and because here in Nigeria, people are afraid. People tell them about this and that, they'll be afraid even to come to you to talk to you. But I'm trying to make sure that I do something so that I will make sure that I collect all of them so that everything can be in order. So that is the situation here right now. Thank you.
Thank you very much. So he was speaking. He was speaking for Yoruba widows. So Dr. Achi Ndufon, if you can share your video, fine. I will unmute you so you can speak on widows in is it South and Southeast Nigeria now? Unmute yourself, please, Dr. Achi Ndufon. 1 minute, please. We lost connection. I'm trying to get as many people on board before we start fully, because we don't want to spend I'm back on. So as I was saying, Dr. Emmanuel, 10 minutes gone now. We have less than half an hour left. As I was saying, I'm a widow. Today is International Widows Day. I should have people knocking on my door to say, oh, we know that you're a widow, and this is what we have for you. Even if it's a gift, it doesn't matter. No matter how little, just something. Oh, and say, oh, thank you. It will be appreciated. Unfortunately, as a widow, I'm the one that has to organize the public lecture. Fine, that's all right. I can use my computer and my Zoom and be the host. It's okay, but I'm also the speaker. This is unfortunate, and we don't need to even go far. We already see the impact. So today, the title of my speech is Tales of Widowhood, a collection of experiences of widows. So we have heard from Malawi, we have heard from Southwest Nigeria. Yes, we're about to hear from Southeast and South Nigeria, Dr. Achi Ndufon from University of Calabar. Please, 1 minute, just 1 minute on experiences of widows in your region, and then I'll give my short speech. And we can end, because I don't want to be tearful. It's an emotional moment. So Dr. Achi Ndufon, 1 minute, please. And if you're not able to speak, please go to the chat room so we can start this session.
Okay. Good evening, Dr. Yewande.
Good evening, Ma.
Everyone, I was struggling. A call came in and then intercepted my call. That's why. So I'm happy to be here this evening in Nigeria, so to say. The situation with widows in Nigeria is pitiable. Let me put it that way. It's a sorry situation because apart from the poverty they suffer, a lot of them suffer neglect. Okay. When the man dies, the women most times are neglected by the families and they are left on their own to cater for their children. So that is the scenario in Nigeria. And apart from that too, most of them suffer stigmatization. They are stigmatized. They are tagged, witches. Sometimes they are, they are punished for killing their husbands, in quotes, even though they are innocent. And they go through a lot of rights that, to me, shouldn't be, because I believe that a widow should be cared for and a widow should be looked after. But that is not the case in Nigeria. So I think that is where we find ourselves. And especially those living in rural areas, they are really going through a lot. But I think this organization or whatever Dr. Yewande is doing is very commendable because it will bring, it will bring light into a lot of issues that have been going on in the dark. So Dr. Yewande, that is the much I can say for now. Thank you very much for this
Thank you,
opportunity.
Ma. So I'll have to mute everybody and I'll give, I don't want to spend more than 15 minutes. So we've tried, this is 13 minutes past the hour. So I believe if somebody is going for a lecture and they're going to get a certificate of attendance, for example, they should have been there even 5 minutes before it starts. So Dr. Emmanuel, please monitor the chat room. Sunday D'Souza Maki, please go to the chat room and write your name and you are representative for Yoruba widows. Dr. Emmanuel, of course, you are representative for Malawian widows. And Dr. Achi Ndifon, you are representative for Igbo, Ijaw, the whole South and Southeast widows. So we are working with people that, have ID card, with organizations or have been endorsed by organizations so that we know where these funds are going for. Dr. Emmanuel knows this golden box is going to Malawi, all my office equipment, and some will remain, of course, in the UK and Ireland, while the rest will go to Malawi, and other important sensitive documents will go to California, where I'm a board member. So a lot of you might have seen a post recently about giving free homes to homeless people. Yes, I'm a board member and I've been a board member for over a year, but we had some delays. The first time I started that project, I was recruited on LinkedIn. And when the advertisement was made for board membership, it was so, it was so competitive. Nobody, will hear that they're recruiting people that will support giving homeless people home. Even if they're not paying you, you want to have your name in gold. I have items that people come to pick, different charities I support. They come to my house, they pick the clothes, and people are dropping, these clothes with me to say, okay, I'm giving this to charity, or I don't know where it's going. So I just put them under the names of different charities on my own. And sometimes I have to go take a bus and go and drop them at the location of the charity. As I was saying, the golden box going to Malawi is because Malawi chapter, for those that don't know, I started Special Monetary Mission International Human Rights Commission Malawi chapter just by, meeting on Facebook with Dr. Emmanuel. And over time, he found out I was a widow. And, he was extra supportive, especially the events that's happened to me in the last 2 weeks, with various organizations. So I had to declare, look, I'm a volunteer just like you. If you want to work, work. If you don't want to work, work. Stop asking me for ID card. I don't owe anybody any ID card. I'm a widow. If I want to sweep the streets on International Widows Day or I want to give widows free food, I can cook in my house and take it to go and meet the widows, because that's why we want to know who the widows are. We're tired of charities coming to collect items for us. So to make this speech, more channeled towards widows globally, because we know the United Nations doesn't comprise of Africa alone, because the reason people are tired of helping Africa is because if you see the picture of a crying child today, I mean, I schooled in England for my doctorate, and it's 2013, this is 2024, they're still, is it that we keep sending the money and these children still sit on the floor? So people are not interested in helping Africa anymore. Even if they want to see what they are doing. So please let us as organizations, if you say today is International Widows Day, where are the widows? Where are they meeting? There should be a place where there's a canopy and chairs, where there will be food on the table, and they say, what's going on here? And they say, oh, it's International Widows Day, so all the widows in the community have been invited. Maybe it's the King's Palace to come and eat. Unfortunately, I'm currently out of Nigeria at the moment. Otherwise, I would have had a party for Nigerian widows. I would have been in Malawi for Malawian widows, but I'm preparing for a major exam. And so I'm trying to concentrate as well. And it's not fair on me to be a widow and be organizing party for other widows. I mean, the money I have is for me, to take care of myself. But not everybody is fortunate. Some widows don't even have any form of education. At least I can even say, okay, let's form an association for widows. So Dr. Achi in the form, I'm handing over your region to you. Sunday, the Susa Maki, I'm handing over Brazil and Yoruba tribe to you. And Dr. Emmanuel, Malawi and the rest of Africa and others, you can see I'm wearing New York. The reason I have to wear New York is because, look, I don't want people coming to me to ask for money for widows for Africa. There are widows in the United States of America. There are widows in the United Kingdom. There are widows in Republic of Ireland. There are widows in Canada. There are widows in Mexico. This is my region as a volunteer. But I remember that I am Black and I look back. But when I look back and the people I'm trying to save are trying to throw a stone at me, and I'm a widow, and I'm like, you dare ask me for money to give widows on International Widows Day? Am I going to give you my money and you list the names of widows you want to give and my name is not on it? Why will my name not be on it as a beneficiary? I am a widow. So are you excluding some widows and calling some poor and some rich? That money you want to give to widows, it might be beneficial to me in one way, even if it's my boss fare. I will always need money, whether I'm rich or poor. It can buy me something, even if it's a drink and a biscuit. It doesn't matter. $1 goes a long way. If you give me $1, or we say, oh, that's why we're in New York. If we say all the widows in the United States and Canada, I know where they are. All I have to do is to go to the hospital and ask, is there anybody who just died? Yes. Where is his family? That's it. That's enough for me. And then we trace the wife of the man who just died. I'm happy I'm talking about health and the doctor is coming in on board. We wouldn't ask him to talk about widows because widows is not a specialty. Welcome, Dr. Akere Male. He is the Chief Operations Officer on the Air Ambulance Project. So he will not be speaking today because this is not Air Ambulance. He will be listening. So Dr. Emmanuel, this is your session as co-chair Africa region. So you just let everyone go to the chat room, including Dr. Akere Male. Anything you would like to say to widows today, and Dr. Emmanuel, you can record it. So I'll go quickly into my short speech. In January of 2019, a call came in. And before that call came in, my friend sat me down in the evening, a day before. It was California is 8 hours or 9 hours behind Nigeria, depending on daylight saving or winters, summer equinox and things like that. Long and short of the story, my friend sat me down and said, Yewande, how are you? I said, I'm all right, what's wrong? And she said, actually, I want to tell you something. I said, what? She said, your husband, he has a stroke. I said, stroke? I had gone to California on a conference, on a neuroscience conference. I'm a neuroscientist. So I went to present my work. It was brain awareness. So I normally teach students brain awareness, science students, how to take care of your brain, and the community, how to take care of your brain. So I have presented my work. I'm a celebrity. Get me out of here is what they do, but I'm not a celebrity. I'm a scientist. So I'm a scientist. And California was wonderful. I was just chilling with my friends, and I was just, the way she said your husband had a stroke, I wasn't even, it didn't click. I was like, what do you mean by he has a stroke? Is that how people have stroke? Dr. Akeremale will give us later. I mean, he's a pharmacist. His younger brother is a medical doctor and he's his neighbor. So if he's had a stroke, the first person to call is his neighbor, who is a medical doctor in Lagos State. We just say, oh, Dr. Oyekenu. So there are so many doctors. I always beg people, you better write Okunoren, otherwise my mother-in-law is Dr. Yewande Oyekenu. When I was dating my husband, she told me she was a widow. So if I start her own experience, she became a widow at the age of 28 with 5 children. She was in her final year medical school at Lagos University, at Luth. So she became a widow. So if I say our own experience, we won't live here. Even my own experience, because it's been 5 years and a half, I've been a widow. But what I'm saying today is just to show you that no matter what, whether rich or poor, we all have experiences. So back to the story. I didn't even look at her face. I was just like, you want to tell a neuroscientist that her husband has a stroke, and you don't even have any evidence. You just call me on one side, Yewande, your only stroke. In Yoruba and in English. He did not register. So what are you talking about? Are you talking to a neuroscientist? Neonatal neuroscientist, my PhD candidate drug is the cure for neonatal stroke. How can my husband have a stroke? Oh, well, he's a pharmacist. He has his pharmacy downstairs. When you are in medical field, so everything is possible sometimes. And that's why scientists maybe don't believe in God. I won't say whether I believe in God or not. It's not for this session. And so it didn't click. And so I think they reported back home that, she doesn't believe anything. Oh, what can you tell a neuroscientist her husband has a stroke? Fix it. So they came again. I was just watching everybody. What's going on? I mean, I was enjoying my life. I went for a walk in San Diego. I came back home. I slept. I just woke up. If you notice me, if you are used to me now, you see that I'm always, sending messages on WhatsApp, because that's my only comfort. I never leave my phone. I don't want to be thinking of somebody who's dead. He died as a chief pharmacist in Lagos. Why will I be sad? But, of course, I still have to think about it. Long and short of the story, I opened my Facebook and I found out my husband died on Facebook. Like, Facebook was full with comment. I was just like, wait. It was 2 a.m. in California. I just managed that. Let it be 5 o'clock. Let my friend come out. Let her get my fist. I was like, from stroke to, there was an obituary by Lagos State government that my husband was. I was like, wait, what is going on? Yeah. So for Lagos State government to say my husband is dead, it's not stroke of 8 hours ago. They told me he had stroke. So I was asking questions, and then my friend from Ghana called me. She's a pharmacist. So pharmacists and pharmacologists were always together. And then she rang. Till today, anytime Tolu calls me, I don't pick, because when I pick, I said, who died again? Who died again? Because the early time you call me is to announce somebody died in our class, somebody in our set, somebody in our, I don't want to, I'm not part of any alumni, I'm not part of any, get together. I don't want to be part of any WhatsApp group. Till today, there is no widows, put me in widows WhatsApp group and I will perform. But you put me in royal women, I'm a royal woman, yes, I'm a princess, but I'm not out for party. I need a place to be calm. And, UK gives me that. Ireland gives me that. The countries I represent gives me, all the support I need. But Nigeria is about party, party. Your husband just died. You are still dancing, collecting money, spraying. Get out of my house. I'm a widow, and it wasn't even the end of the story. Took my bags, I started packing my things. Okay, when somebody tells you your husband is dead and you are going to Nigeria from California, Dr. Okunoren knows what kind of things will happen. You cannot, those things you packed before that you wanted to take to Nigeria, you know when you leave, it's like emergency exit, fire in the building. So I packed whatever I could pack and left California. From San Diego to Atlanta, Delta Airlines, no problem. And then from Atlanta to Lagos, that was the headache. Delta Airlines refused to put me on the plane because I was disoriented. You are not fit to fly. I said, hey, I'm going to Nigeria. I said, you can't go to Nigeria. I said, well, I'm Nigerian. So what are you going to do about it? You can't tell me I'm not fit to fly. I'm going to my country. If I want to go and die in my country, it doesn't concern you. They say, no, you're not going to die. Number one, you don't look like people that are going to Nigeria. I said, excuse me. I am Nigerian. So how do people go into Nigeria? It was a fight with the medical team and everything. Delta Airline, no, she's not fit to fly. I said, look, you see this plane, I mustn't miss my flight. My husband is dead and I'm going to bury, and everybody on Delta, leave me alone. But I must thank Delta Airlines because the person who sat beside me was coming from Canada to Lagos, so he was Yoruba as well. And then, of course, Dr. Okunoren-Oyekenu, I'm happy he's here. Dr. Indifontu is here. So we've got psychologists, we've got anesthetists, we've got nurse from Sudan. Ambassador Nala Suleiman, thank you. She's a nurse. She represents nursing services for refugee camps, and she's my good friend and sister. And then I got on Delta Airlines, and then it didn't go well. I was definitely not fit to fly. And then I said, okay, can I have paracetamol? And the place was scattered. And then I remember that, oh, I'm a pharmacologist. And I did pharmacology and physiology. They are brothers and they are also enemies. I said, okay. They didn't know what was paracetamol. I said, I must tell you. I know what is paracetamol if you don't know it. And then the guy beside me said painkillers. I said, I'm a pharmacologist. I don't know what is painkillers. I don't know what you're going to give me that you call painkillers. Well, I know paracetamol. So if you don't have paracetamol, do you have acetaminophen? And they said they have. And I said, but you said you don't have paracetamol. It's the same thing. Because you, UK and US, you're fighting. And we Nigerians get the problem because when we write exams, we have to read to pass UK exam. We have to read to pass US exam. So we are, double barreled gun. We can speak UK and US pharmacology. So you don't have paracetamol, but you have acetaminophen. Don't give me painkillers. I don't know what painkillers is. I might be allergic to what you're calling painkillers. And that was it. So I got some painkillers. I was all right. The worst thing is my family wouldn't pick me at the airport because they said, stay in America and continue your life. He's dead, he's gone. You're coming home, we'll not bring him back. I said, I will leave my gold, my silver, my bronze, and everything I have because my husband wrote me a letter to permit me to go and study PhD in the United Kingdom. So why would he die? And I'll say, oh, that's it. So I won't waste too much time because if I say my story, we won't finish today. But to comfort the widows who are going to watch this video at the end, as I'm speaking, I don't want to be tearful. So let me just dish it out while it's hot and while I'm still fit to speak. So I will be happy if this time next year, by God's grace, we are able to have somebody else who's not a widow speak to support the widows, and then the widows can just give their consent. So please, everybody in this meeting, do send something in the chat room because we are going to get a thank you for attending message. Okay, so this is like a closing to my speech. Do let me know if you can see my screen, and also note that we can be cut off at any time because I may get emotional. So can you see my screen, Dr. Emmanuel?
Yes, I can see it. Yes, I
Okay.
can see it.
Okay, so there are 4 verses. Okay, I won't be able to sing all of it, but I'll sing a bit. So these are the words of Charles Wesley, 1707 to 1788. I'll just sing one verse from the English and one verse from the Yoruba, because we have Yoruba widows representative here. In English, give me the faith which can remove. It's in the English Methodist hymn book. Well, I won't say the number because various countries have it in different numbers. So this is an assignment, Dr. Emmanuel, to know which number in Malawi hymn book it is. Give me the faith which can remove and sing the mountain to a plain. Give me the childlike praying love, which longs to build thy house again. Thy love let it my heart open, and all my simple soul divine. Thy love let it my heart open, and all my simple soul devour. I will the precious time redeem, and longer live for this alone, to spend and to be spent for them who have not yet my Savior known fully on these my mission prove, who an only breath to breathe thy love. Fully on this my mission prove, and only breath to breathe thy love. So there are 4 verses from Charles Wesley. This was the service of songs for my late father here in the UK. So you can get it online, or I can send you the PDF if you want it as complimentary. I'm hoping to bring the hard copies to Nigeria in July when I arrive. So the Yoruba translation, some widows, as Sunday the Susa is here, is representing Brazilian Yoruba tribe. So we have Yorubas in Brazil, and we have African Americans who are just discovering their Yorubas, and that's why I'm in New York today. So for African Americans, Afro-Brazilians, and for Yoruba tribe, Dr. Akirimale, who else is here? Sunday de Suzamaki is Yoruba Brazilian. I'm Yoruba. So that's 3 out of how many of us? 7 are Yoruba, which is a good number. So I believe we can see and join if we can. Demolua Tony Joseph, is she still here? So we might be cut off at any time. So I would like to end with the Yoruba song. So I'll sing it for as long as it can before we get cut off. We have 5 verses. Give me the faith which can remove, Yoruba translation. This is from Yoruba Methodist Hymn Book 410, sent to me by my cousin, Omobatemitayo Makindipe. Fún mi nígbàgbọ́ tó lè sàn, òkè gíga di pẹ̀tẹ́lẹ̀. Fún mi ní ìfẹ́ àdúrà tí ń fẹ́ láti láti tún lè rẹ̀ kọ́ kí fẹ́rẹ̀ borí ọkàn mi kò sì gbàgbọ́ pẹ̀mí mi kan kí fẹ́rẹ̀ borí ọkàn mi kò sì gbàgbọ́ pẹ̀mí mi kan. Mo ń fẹ́ ìfẹ́ tó lágbára. Mo ń fẹ́ ìtara tó gbóná. Kí n yọ ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀ nù iná. Kí n já wọn lọ wọ ìparun. Kí n darí wọn sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Kí n fẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù paná wọn. Kí n darí wọn sọ́dọ̀ Ọlọ́run. Kí n fẹ̀jẹ̀ Jésù paná wọn. Mo fẹ́ ragbà tó lọ padà. Kí n pẹ́ láyé nítorí náà. Kí n lo ara mi fún àwọn tí kò tí mọ̀ Olùgbàlà. Kí n fi pé mi ọ̀lára wọn. Kí n sì máa kìkì fẹ́rẹ̀. Kí n fi pé mi ọ̀lára wọn. Kí n sì máa mí kìkì fẹ́rẹ̀. Gba ẹ̀bùn àti iṣẹ́ mi. Sọ́wọ́ rere rẹ Olúwa. Jẹ́ kí n máa wàásù ọ̀rọ̀ rẹ. Kí n wà láyé fún ògo rẹ. Kí n lo gbogbo àkókò mi ní kéde ọ̀rẹ́ ẹlẹ́ṣẹ̀. Bye, everyone, and see you next week.
Bye. Bye, Yewande.
Bye, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you so
Bye.
much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Bye.